Connor Cummins then, just steadying himself with coming up to 10 seconds until he gets that famous tap on the shoulder. The flag will drop. It's the RST product specialist, Joseph Ross, who's the starter. And we are away. Connor Cummins first away. Nice and steadily away. Here's Dean Harrison. Neatly tucked under the bubble there. John McGuinness on the Norton. Let's hear this away. What a sound. Ian Hutchinson, Honda Racing. And now it's James Hillier on the Quattro plant, Kawasaki. 36 miles per hour and the few yards from the start line. And here's Dunlop, Michael Dunlop, away to the scoreboards as usual. Number 7 is Gary Johnson on the RAF regular and reserves, Kawasaki. And now Michael Rutter on this beautiful bike. Let's hear it away. David's Racing Special Honda. Honda Racing David Johnson now. Smith's Racing BMW of number 10, Peter Hickman. Ashcourt Racing's BMW entry of Lee Johnston away. Derek McGee is next away. Nice and steady, legs dragging behind him, and then up onto the pegs. 13 is away next, and that is Sam West. PRL BMW, another BMW will be next at 14, Philip Crow. And the Prez Racing Yamaha of Jamie Coward at 15. Takes the Michael Dunlop line, veering off to the scoreboards. Derek Shields on the Burroughs Engineering Suzuki. '17 is Sean Anderson on another BMW. Two Pens bikes next. It's number 18, Davey Todd first. And 19 is Daley Matheson. The flag drops for him. And at 20, it's the Davies Motorsport Kawasaki of Dominic Herbertson. Next away should be number 23, Stefano Benetti. '22, Brian McCormack under the arch now, and away he goes. '26 away next is Rob Hodson. RC Express Alphabet Devitt Racing Kawasaki of Paul Jordan away. And the Bill-based Carl Cox Motorsport Suzuki of number 67, Jay Lawrence, is on track. '50 away is David Jackson. As David Jackson heads towards Bray Hill, we'll head out to Glen Helen. Dave Christian.
Bob on Tim, first man on the road, and it's the big guy from Ramsey. Connor safely through here, but the gap between him and Dean Harrison has got to be less than 10 seconds. Harrison closed that gap up. He's safely through here as well, and Harrison is looking like he's pulled maybe 4 seconds Well, not quite 4. My eyesight's obviously let me down there. 2.5 seconds, though. Dean Harrison, the quickest man here so far. And a little bit of a gap now to third on the road, John McGuinness. Let's just have a listen to the Norton. John McGuinness not on the pace, though. A little bit further back. He's 9 seconds slower than Cummins. He has 2 together, though, 4 and 5. That's James Hillier pulling back Ian Hutchinson. So Hillier's obviously pulled up some time here. He drops into second place on our provisional leaderboard. Harrison leads Hillier by 2 seconds. Cummins a 10th back further. Michael Dunlop there, safely through here. Little wobble on the front end, but no dramas for him. Not quite on the pace, though, here on lap 1. 4th place provisionally for Dunlop. Gary Johnson now safely through as well. He gets on the power, makes that climb up towards Sarah's, but looks like he's being caught by Michael Rutter. Yeah, Rutter a little bit quicker than Gaz Johnson there. Only half a second or so in it, but the gap looks smaller, but 2 together means there's a big time gap here. 9 and 10, so Hickman is on it. He is catching number 9, Davo Johnson on the road, and Hickman drops into second place. So it's Harrison leads Hickman by a second. James Hillier third. He's 1 second back on Peter Hickman. And Connor Cummins fourth, just a fifth of a second down on Hillier, with Michael Dunlop making up your top 5. That's Lee Johnston safely through here. And Johnston up there just inside the top 10. As we await the next man on the road, machine comes in, down a gear, into the left-hander. That is the number 12 machine, Derek McGee. And McGee safely through here, but he's being caught. That's Sam West catching Derek McGee on the road. And Sam West indeed just drops himself into the top 10, but at that top end, it's Harrison leads Hickman from Hillier in third. Next man into Glen Helen, that's number 14, Big Phil Crow. He's being caught, though. The gap down. Jamie Coward has got a good run there on Phil Crow. He'll have him in sight on Cronkavati. And Jamie Coward into 8th place, number 15. Jamie Coward provisionally 8th place on our leaderboard here at Glen Helen on lap 1. Next machine tips into the left-hander. That is Derek Shields, number 16. Still running in the starting order, but Shields be a little bit further down the field as we await the arrival of Sean Anderson's BMW. 2 bikes interviewing 17 and 18 together, so Davey Todd catching Sean Anderson. He's going to definitely have him down Cronkavati. He's made up 10 seconds already between the grandstand down here at Glen Helen. The next man in, that's 19, Daley Matheson, and a little bit of a gap now with Dominic Herbertson yet to come. But it is Dean Harrison leads Peter Hickman by just 1 second at Glen Helen on lap 1. As the next bike interview into the left-hander here. Dominic Herbertson gets on the power as he makes his climb up towards Sarah's, with Herbertson being caught. Stefano Benetti looks like he's closing in on Dom Herbertson. The first 2 are through Balaf Bridge now. 22 goes through here. Dean Harrison and Connor Cummins both through Balaf Bridge, as is John McGuinness now. But here at Glen Helen, it is Dean Harrison, your race leader on lap 1, number 2. He is 1 second clear of number 10, Peter Hickman. And in third place, number 5, James Hillier. 26 through, that is Rob Hodson. And that was 48, I think. Did I see a 48? 46. 46, Paul Jordan. Let's just see he's gone well in qualifying. Paul Jordan, number 46, up to 17th place here at Glen Helen on lap 1. 67 now through, Jay Lawrence. And at Balaf Bridge, we're still awaiting the arrival of Peter Hickman, just to give you that leaderboard further up the road. But at the moment, it's Dean Harrison. He is 3 seconds quicker than Connor Cummins, with James Hillier third. But that will all change when Peter Hickman arrives. That was 25, the last of those 2 bikes through. 25, Michael Sweeney. And Peter Hickman does make it through Balaf. Harrison leads at Balaf. He leads Peter Hickman by just 1 second still. So holding firm there, that Harrison-Hickman battle from last year being repeated. But Connor Cummins makes the move up to third. He is 2 seconds down on Hickman. And James Hillier drops to fourth. He is 3 seconds down on Cummins. So that's at Balaf Bridge. And it is Hickman and Harrison out in front, just picking up where they left off after last year's senior. And that is going to be one heck of a battle. And with that gap being so small, it'll be very, very important in pit lane as Mike Booth comes through here at Glen Helen on his first lap. Notable movers then, I can see 23rd quickest here at Glen Helen, 67, Jay Lawrence. A good little start from Jay Lawrence, moving himself up the leaderboard, but not quite on the same pace as those guys at the top end. At your Balaf now, where Michael Dunlop 5th. He's holding the same position he was here. The only change in the top 5 is that Cummins and Hillier have swapped positions. So it is Dean Harrison leading up Balaf Bridge, and with that we'll go to Tim at the grandstand.
And 196.2 is the quickest to number 2 Dean Harrison at Solby. James Hillier 193.4 miles per hour. Connor Cummins 191.2, the same as number 10 Peter Hickman. Let's go to Ramsey Hairpin, Roy Moore.
Solby Straight must look very narrow at those top type of speeds. We can hear bikes approaching into the Laser Road down through, but I think a little bit ahead of time here, but it'll give us an opportunity to get them all, I think. But bang on time, it's number 1, Connor Cummins into Ramsey, tips the machine in, and right behind him, virtually now on the road, is Dean Harrison leading this race, but only by the 1 second. A bit of a time to go now. He's certainly not bothered about damp patches going away up towards the waterworks this morning. Certainly he was yesterday afternoon, out of the seat on one occasion there, but Connor Cummins first into Ramsey, but Dean Harrison catching him on the road. The gap now 5 seconds, 5.2 seconds that Dean Harrison is ahead of Connor Cummins. But looking back to Balaf Bridge, it's that time for Peter Hickman that they're looking for. 15 seconds, I think, covered the top 10 as they went over the humpback bridge at Balaf. Well, what will it be here at Ramsey? More machines come into view now, sweeping out of Stella Maris. Tighter line for Hillier here, number 5, and behind him is John McGuinness on the Norton, and then Ian Hutchinson. They are safely through. John McGuinness has a quick look behind and just takes that rip off in exactly the same place, and Ian Hutchinson now accelerating away, and here's Michael Dunlop. So Michael Dunlop into 4th place, 3 seconds down on James Hillier, who's holding on to 3rd here at Ramsey at the moment, with Hutchinson 5th, and John McGuinness 6th that they've gone through. Is this Peter Hickman here now? No, it's number 7. It's Gary Johnston, who is safely through Ramsey, but a very, very wide sweep. That's Michael Rutter, I think, and behind him is Peter Hickman. Hickman has made it to Ramsey, but it's still Dean Harrison by that 1.4 seconds here at Ramsey on lap number 1 of the Superbike TT. 1.237 seconds is the lead, as number 9 is here now. Number 9 safely through, David Johnson as well. So a scutcher machine's gone through, but the race lead being held by number 2, Dean Harrison, by 1.4 over in 2nd place, 10, Peter Hickman. In 3rd, number 1, Connor Cummins, 3 seconds down on Hickman. 4th for number 5, James Hillier, 7.5 seconds down on Connor Cummins. 5th, 6th is number 6, Michael Dunlop, 3.5 seconds down on James Hillier. In 6th, number 8, Michael Rutter, 2 seconds down on Michael Dunlop. 7th for number 7, Gary Johnson, 2.5 seconds down on Michael Rutter. 8th for number 9, David Johnson, just a 0.7 of a second down on Gary Johnson. And in 9th place, number 4, Ian Hutchinson. That might be changed with the arrival of the likes of Brian McCormick as they were heading over, and Derek McGee and Sam West. And certainly that is the case, because there is number 12, Derek McGee, through, and Sam West, number 13, is here with us now. Tips it in, number 15 as well. Certainly number 14 is here as well. Certainly through they go. Number 14 there, the last of those being Philip Crow. How does that affect the leaderboard? Well, it doesn't affect it at the top, but Jamie Coward, number 15, who we reported going through here, he moves up into 8th place. Number 15, Jamie Coward, just 0.2 of a second down on Gary Johnson in 7th. In 9th now, it's number 9, David Johnson, just half a second down on Jamie Coward. In 10th, for Ian Hutchinson, 4 seconds down on David Johnson. And Sam West moves up into 13th place, 1 second down, as number 18 is here with us now. And he moves up into 10th place, appropriately enough. That's Davey Todd. He's 3 seconds down, though, and through the bungalow goes Dean Harrison. He safely made the mountain climb, as has number 1, Connor Cummins, as they head towards us here. Sean Anderson was the last to go through there, and also through Lee Johnston. Number 11 and 12, Derek McGee. So going in part only, it was in 10th place, Davey Todd. 11th, Daley Matheson. 12th, Ian Hutchinson. 13th, Sam West. 14th, Lee Johnston. 15th, John McGuinness. 16th, Phil Crow. 17th, Sean Anderson. 18th, Derek McGee. 1, 2, 3, as quickly as that. The last to go through, number 23. And ahead of them, 23. It doesn't come up on our leaderboard as yet, but certainly 23 was safely through. We should get our programme on that for say that Stefano Benetti is through. Number 22 was there as well, Brian McCormick. And number 20 safely through, Ramsey Hairpin. And one of the seeded riders, Dominic Herbertson. Where do they slot into? Well, Brian McCormick seems to be the best. Jamie Coward there up into 7th place, but Brian McCormick in 10th. Daley Matheson 12th. Ian Hutchinson 13th. Sam West 14th. Dean Harrison still waiting for the arrival at the bungalow of Peter Hickman. But Dean Harrison, Connor Cummins, Hickman is there, and it's still 1.5 seconds at the bungalow. Well, we all know that Peter Hickman is very quick down that mountain. 1.5 seconds the gap. Dean Harrison, number 2, still leads from 10. Peter Hickman at the bungalow. Within 3rd, Connor Cummins, who's 4 seconds down on Hickman. In 4th place, number 5, James Hillier. 11 seconds gone out now between him and Connor Cummins. In 5th, number 6, Michael Dunlop, who's 4.5 seconds down. And Derek Shields, transponder not working, my thing. So look out for him. And number only, we're just not quite sure. Derek Shields, transponder not working, but through the bungalow it's Harrison, Hickman, Cummins, Hillier, Dunlop, Rutter, Johnson again, Ian Hutchinson and John McGuinness, the top 10 through the bungalow. Will Hickman make it quick to the grandstand? Tim Glover.
Well, it's Dean Harrison who's the man at the moment. Purple sectors all the way, and he's made it to Cronknamona. Light on for bikes number 2 and 1. And Dean Harrison is leading this race, but Hickman is definitely keeping him honest. Hickman ahead already on the road of Gary Johnson and Michael Rutter. Hillier certainly dropped time, big lot of time on the way into Ramsey between Belaf Bridge and Ramsey. But it is Dean Harrison who has got this race in his grip at the moment, although a very small margin it is. It's almost taking up from the senior from last year between Dean Harrison, number 2, and number 10, Peter Hickman. So far, it's only Harrison and Cummins that have made it to Cronknamona, and they should be coming out of Governor's Dip and up onto Glen Crutchley Road, the most famous racing bit of tarmac in the world. As we look up the road, we can hear the bikes. We can now see them. There's Cummins. And there is Harrison. We were looking at about 132 pace, and it is indeed 132.48 miles per hour from a standing start for the Silicone Engineering Kawasaki of Dean Harrison. 131.72 miles per hour for Connor Cummins. So a blistering start to this RST Superbike TT. As we go back to Cronknamona, and the light is on for Peter Hickman, and Peter Hickman is just 1.5 down on Harrison at Cronknamona. And looking at the sectors as well, it is purple all the way from, apart from that run down to Cronknamona. That now belongs to Peter Hickman. He's nibbled away at Harrison's lead. And next into view, and across the line is James Hillier, 129.85 for Hillier. One retirement, number 33, Frank Gallagher, retired at Belaf Bridge. Number 4, Hutchinson across the line. And Michael Dunlop, Hutchinson, 126.88. Michael Dunlop, 129.13. McGuinness is coming into the pits on the Norton, down to Chris Kinley.
He is, yeah. He's just opposite the old fire station thing where all the fire brigade sits in. So he's in and off the Norton. That is a disaster for John. I know he was so looking forward to being back in the Outland. He's off the bike. John McGuinness looks like he could be in retirement. We'll make our way up there and see what they're doing to the machine. They are putting the fuel in it, but he is getting off the bike. Whether there's a problem with the wind, he said that to me yesterday during the practice, Tim, that he wasn't too impressed.
Just
with
to
the
let
way
you
the wind
know,
was.
Chris, Hickman's through at 132.34, and the lead is just 1 second between Harrison, the leader, and Hickman in second.
Yeah, John still talking to the guys there on the front, just looking maybe at suspension. I'm not sure, but it looks like he could. No, he's going to, I think he's going to get back going again. We're just having a little look to see, just move around a bit just to see what he's doing there. Yeah, they're just fiddling around on the front of the bike, not exactly sure what it is. He's pointing down to the right-hand side. So Dean Harrison leads Tim by 1.088 of a second after the first lap.
Indeed he does. David Johnson 128.10, Michael Rutter 128.83, just across the line there. Lee Johnston on the BMW at 126.37. The leaderboard, Dean Harrison leads by 1.088 ahead of number 10 Peter Hickman. Harrison's stats then 17 minutes 5.247 seconds. That is 132.483 from a standing start. Peter Hickman 132.343 in second. John McGuinness has walked away now from the bike. In third then, 4.8 down on Hickman is Connor Cummins. Connor Cummins is 14.7 seconds. 14.7 seconds ahead of James Hillier. Dunlop's in fifth, and I think we've got another retirement. Chris Kinley.
Yeah, spotted Derek McGee just touring across the line, so that's a bit of a shame for Derek. He was holding around about 15th place through grandstand, but John McGuinness, the bike isn't away yet. He's gone running into the Parc Ferme to get something, so we still could see John McGuinness back out on track in a couple of minutes, but Derek McGee is coming back up the return lane. Tim Glover below you now.
Indeed, we can see him just making his way in, so it looks like a retirement there. Sixth is Michael Rutter. He's 2.4 seconds down on Dunlop. Seventh is number 7, Gary Johnson, 4 seconds down on Rutter. Eighth is number 15, Jamie Coward, just 0.9 ahead behind Johnson, and he is 0.9 ahead of ninth place, number 9, David Johnson. Down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, there's an oil pressure light, we've been told from the Norton. They've gone to sort that out, so there's an oil pressure light for the number 3, Silver Norton. Over to Glen Helen, Dave Christian, lap 2.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. First machine out of Glen Helen 1 now, and he's being caught. He's in sight now. That's Connor up front, but closely followed by Dean Harrison on the road. And Dino's going to get a good view of him down Cronkervoddy Straight. The gap down 1.8 seconds. Is all there is between them on corrected, 8.2 seconds between them on corrected time, and Dean Harrison got him in sight, and I'm sure he'll be shaping up for a pass in the next couple of miles, but it is those two well out in front now. John McGuinness at number 3, a little bit of a gap now with him pulled into the pits as we await the arrival of James Hillier, who should be the next man on the road. And those two people, those two guys out front, Dean Harrison, Connor Cummins, a nice little dice going up. Connor could just tuck in behind Dino maybe and do what James Hillier did with John McGuinness a few years back. Just followed those lines, got a little toe, got a little bit of extra from him, and that might just help drag Connor along a little bit as the next man does tip into the left-hander. It is James Hillier. He's out on his own as well. A lot of clear track there with Hillier. And he's got a nice clean run ahead of him, and he may be able to pick up a little bit more time. And it is the next man on the road, should be number 4, Ian Hutchinson, I think. We've got two bikes together out of Glen Helen 1. It is Michael Dunlop and Ian Hutchinson in that order. So Dunlop ahead of Hutchinson on the road as Hickman sweeps through here. Absolutely smooth as a smooth thing, without saying anything else. But Peter Hickman, very, very smooth here. That gap, though, it's still there. Gaz Johnson comes through, as does Michael Rutter. We'll await the leaderboard there to form up, but Dean Harrison leads Peter Hickman by 1.5 seconds at Glen Helen on lap 2, with Connor Cummins in third place. So number 2 leads number 10. In third place, it's number 1, Connor Cummins. He's 7 seconds back on Hickman. And through there goes Davo Johnson. And Johnson was in 9th place. That's number 9 in 9th place at the grandstand. We'll just wait the leaderboard here to see where he is at this stage. But Harrison leads Hickman by 1.5 seconds, and with a trip to the pits coming up at the end of this lap, anything could happen. The 4th place man, number 5, James Hillier, he is 19 seconds back on 3rd place, Connor Cummins. And that's another 5 seconds. I think Cummins has pulled out between the grandstand and Glen Helen. So those top 3 appear to be just edging away from everybody. And with, 8 seconds separating the 3 of them on adjusted time, it really could go anywhere in the pits. It's Lee Johnston through, number 11, Lee Johnston, on his second lap here at Glen Helen. Just holding on to a place inside the top 10 at the moment, but some of the guys who started behind them are catching them on corrected time, and there's one, Sam West, number 13. Sam West safely through, as is 15, Jamie Coward, both clear on their second lap here at Glen Helen, and is Sam West does go ahead of Lee Johnston and Jamie Coward as well. Great ride from Jamie Coward up to 7th place now, number 15. He qualified well and he's racing well too. Big Phil Crow gets through on his second lap, but it is still Harrison leading Hickman by a second and a half. In 3rd place, Connor Cummins, 7 back. In 4th, number 5, James Hillier. He is 19 seconds back on Cummins. And making up your top 5, number 8, Michael Rutter. He's 8 seconds down on Hillier. That is 18 through. Davy Todd, great ride from Davy Todd. He was just inside the top 10 at the grandstand at the end of the lap, and 16 comes through as well. Derek Shields, we have, I think Roy said his transponder wasn't working. He's just registered on the grandstand now anyway, so we have him here. Derek Shields, number 16, in 15th place so far at Glen Helen. 17 through now. 17 is Sean Anderson. And holding 17th place of the riders thus far through. But Jamie Coward, your mover at the top end, number 15, Jamie Coward up into 7th place, grabbed 8 places from his starting position, and a great opening ride for him. Davy Todd, number 18, just holding on to 10th place as well. 22 comes through, Brian McCormack, and he's followed closely on the road by 20, which is Dom Herbertson. And we'll have a little look at the left bridge if we can. 23 comes through, Stefano Benetti. Benetti safely through at Glen Helen, and we'll switch over to the left bridge where the leaders should be through. They are indeed. Dean Harrison and Peter Hickman still at the head of the race at Balaf. Number 2, Harrison leads number 10, Hickman, by 5 seconds up the left bridge. 5 seconds, it's 4.8, just rounded that up to 5. And Connor Cummins third, he is just 5 seconds down on Hickman. There's 2 more through here at Glen Helen, but that battle between those top 3 is shaping up nicely for pit lane at the end of this lap. In 4th place now at Balaf Bridge, number 5, James Hillier. He is 23 seconds down on Cummins. So the top 3 definitely pulling away from the rest of the pack. And with that, we'll go back to you at the grandstand.
Well, that is a remarkable sector there that Dean Harrison has put in between Glen Helen and Balaf. It's only a second slower than the absolute fastest sector time there on, well, with a lack of practice too. 2 more retirements confirmed, Derek McGee and number 3, John McGuinness at the retirement. But a phenomenal sector put in there by Dean Harrison, and he now leads Peter Hickman by an extended margin of 4.8 seconds at Balaf Bridge. Connor Cummins a further 4.7 down on Hickman, and in 4th it's Hillier, but he's 23.3 seconds down on Cummins. Let's head out to Ramsey Hairpin. Roy Moore.
Well, Dean Harrison mentioned the other night, if you're leading, you give bigger waves to the crowd, but when you're setting fastest ever sector times, or very, very nearly indeed, there'll be no time for that as they approach Ramsey Hairpin on the second lap. Stella Maris down there, the sweeping right-hander which takes you into Ramsey Hairpin. The crowd just stirring now. They can hear the machine bumping its way up through Mayhill, and they're together, and Dean Harrison is ahead on the road off number 1, Connor Cummins. So 10 seconds worked out on that one, pretty straightforward. Well, it wasn't the gap there, it was 4 seconds between him and Peter Hickman, so got a reasonable amount of time to wait here at Ramsey Hairpin before Peter Hickman arrives, number 10. But remember, it will be fuel at the end of this particular lap, so that's where the Silicon Engineering hospitality will be able to come in and get everything slickly done and away and get the things there. But it's going to be quite exciting to listen to it and do it. And as we mentioned before, it's a Kawasaki versus BMW versus Honda battle here at the front. And certainly the top 3 now making a break for it. 23 seconds James Hillier was down on Connor Cummins at Balaf Bridge. In 5th place was Michael Rutter, 10 seconds down on James Hillier. But the 2 Michaels were having a bit of a battle there at Balaf on this particular lap. Only 1.5 seconds between Michael Rutter in 5th place and Michael Dunlop in 6th. James Hillier has made the Ramsey Hairpin here on the lap 3 by the look of it, certainly indicated, and very, very narrow approach out from Stella Maris, but tips it in. Brilliant sunshine here at Ramsey, but he's still got that red light on the back as he goes under the shade, under the trees towards the waterworks, just rolls it off for the second off the right-handers coming through, and sweeping out as he did the other day is Peter Hickman. Has he made any inroads? Well, he's taken second, virtually a second back on Dean Harrison on the run from Balaf Bridge here to Ramsey, because it's still Dean Harrison, number 2, who leads, but now only by 4 seconds over number 10, Peter Hickman. Safely through is Ian Hutchinson, and certainly get the visor out there as well. No John McGuinness on this particular lap as Michael Rutter comes towards us, and number 7, Gary Johnson, and he both through, and listen to that machine go away. Beautiful sounding, the red light on that as well. So it's 4 seconds now, the lead for Dean Harrison as they head through Ramsey Hairpin on lap number 2. We'll keep our eye on the bungalow. Connor Cummins 6 seconds down, so another couple of seconds there between him and Peter Hickman, which indicates that Peter Hickman has picked up a second on Dean Harrison on the run from Ballaugh Bridge here to Ramsey. In 4th place, number 5, James Hillier, 26 seconds down though on Connor Cummins. In 5th place, number 8, Michael Rutter, 11 seconds down on James Hillier. 6th, for number 6, Michael Dunlop, just half a second down on Michael Rutter. 7th for number 9, David Johnson. He's 11 seconds down on Michael Dunlop. 8th place, number 7, Gary Johnson, just 0.2 of a second down on David Johnson. And in 9th place, number 4, Ian Hutchinson, 17 seconds down, though, on Gary Johnson. But others we've got to look out for will be Jamie Coward, up to 7th at Ballaugh Bridge on this particular lap, and Davy Todd, who was holding on to 10th place, just ahead of Sam West at Ballaugh Bridge. But Ramsey Hairpin again, and it is number 11 who's safely here through with us now. That is Lee Johnston, and number 12 behind, 13 behind him, and 15, there's Jamie Coward now. Where does he figure on our leaderboard? It's up to 7th place for Jamie Coward, 6 seconds down though on Michael Dunlop. In 8th place, number 9, David Johnson, 4 seconds down on Jamie Coward. 9th for number 7, Gary Johnson. He's only 0.2 of a second down, though, on David Johnson. In 10th place, 13, Sam West. He is 13 seconds down on Gary Johnson. 11th, number 4, Ian Hutchinson, 3 seconds down on Sam West. And completing the top 12 as Dean Harrison and Connor Cummins are safely through the bungalow is in 12th place, number 11, Lee Johnson, who is 12 seconds down. There in front of him now, it'll be Phil Crow, I would imagine, because Sam West and Davy Todd have moved up there as well. Safely through the bungalow is Dean Harrison on this, the second lap, and certainly Connor Cummins made that 9.597, so that must be holding station on the mountain climb as number 16 is safely through. Number 16 there, Derek Shields, and I don't think his transponder, it did register at Ramsey Hairpin. Yes, he's holding on to 16th place, number 16, 12 seconds down on Lee Johnson, but Lee Johnson and Phil Crow in 14th and 15th place are only separated by 1 second, and they're chasing Ian Hutchinson, who is only 1 second ahead of them. Number 19, Daley Matheson, he comes into the equation there, holding on to 13th, and Brian McCormick in 11th place here at Ramsey Hairpin. And they're through the bungalow, and it's Dean Harrison. Dean Harrison and Peter Hickman virtually can't be separated at the bungalow. 0.045 of a second as they go. Well, it's all like it was last year. Dean Harrison still leads, but it's a fraction of a second now that number 10, Peter Hickman, is behind him. And 9 seconds, Connor Cummins still going well, but 9 seconds down now on Peter Hickman as they go through the bungalow, the climb up towards the Brandywell. And then seeing old Douglas and Firle before you as you sweep round Dukes and down to Windy Corner. So it's all to be played for in this pit stop. There's only 0.045 of a second between 2 Dean Harrison and 10 Peter Hickman. Back to the grandstand.
Yes, that's a purple sector, quickest of the race so far from Hickman up to the bungalow. And that bungalow time also means, of course, that Connor Cummins has got back into the lead ahead of Dean Harrison on the road, although of course there's 10 seconds between them on their start time. But Connor Cummins leading on the road, and obviously Harrison and Cummins have had a bit of a ding-dong there up from Ramsey Hairpin to the bungalow. Has it cost Harrison time? And Hickman, we know, well, he's strong on the way up the mountain. That was proved in the senior last year, and he's made real inroads. Number 2 and 1, lights on now for Harrison and Cummins at Cronknamona. And there's still Connor Cummins is in the lead. 9.667 seconds is the advantage that Harrison, but Cummins leading on the road, only just, they're virtually together. and we await to see Hickman at Cronknamona. Little bit of a wait yet, but the klaxon sounds, and here are Connor Cummins and indeed Dean Harrison, our race leader, and it is 132.57 for Harrison, 132.37 for Cummins. Chris Kinley.
About a mile an hour on his Connor on that lap as well, but him and Dean Harrison having a heck of a battle. The gap, let's have a little look back to Cronknamona. Peter Hickman is not there yet. He's there now at 0.649. So Peter Hickman is the new race leader as he come through Cronknamona. So Peter Hickman leads by 0.649 of a second. This pit stop is going to be so important. The new rear wheel is in for Dean Harrison. The little ratchets will be going on there in a minute, just to clicking on the torque wrench. Clunk, there it goes, it's into position there now, that screen being cleaned, just about to come off the rear stand. Connor's just about to leave. The Malenko by Paget's boys will be working hard on that bike, ready to go. They're going to go out together again. Top fuel, a lot of fuel just going down into the regions for Dean Harrison, but he is away. But just a reminder then, Peter Hickman, a new race leader, Connor Cummins away, Dean Harrison away, heading down the top under the Monster Energy Bridge, and here we go, the klaxon sounds one more time. It's Cronknamona, then Hickman, Harrison, Cummins, Hillier, Rutter, Dunlop, Johnson, Hutchinson, provisional top 8. Here's James Hillier, confirmed in that 4th place when he went through Cronknamona, 3rd at the moment, but it's Hillier that we're waiting for, and it's Hickman that we're waiting for, should I say. And there is Hickman.
132.947 miles per hour, Chris Kinley.
And the lead is up to 1.782 of a second, 1 3/4 seconds. So he's put a second on from Cronknamona here, and he's got James Hillier when he goes out for after his pit stop. So the BMW, you heard him saying earlier on, he's changed the front, he's changed the rear. Here's Michael Dunlop, round about 6th place for Michael for the number 6 bike at the moment. But Hickman's pit stop is currently ongoing. The rear wheel just been slotted into position, the chain just been dropped over the rear sprocket and then into position straight away. The rear spindle just been slipped in there now, and here is the number 8 bike of Rutter. Listen to that going down pit lane. So Hickman leads Dean Harrison by 1.782. There's Hutchie in, and that was closer between him and James Hillier, but it's Hickman the man we are keeping a little eye on here now. Gets a little push by the Smith guys, and that's away. Nice and steady for Peter. You hear the little rev limiter just kicking in, the red light flashing as he goes down and exits pit lane. This is going to be so important after these pit stops as Hickman goes under the bridge and away. Let's have a little look at the gap after the pit stop. We have got Dean Harrison. Let's have a little look. 57.529 for Harrison, 58.658 for Hickman. That is going to be so close when they get over there to Glen Helen, and 58 seconds for Connor Cummins. This is going to be so tight. But Tim Glover, 1.782. Dean Harrison leads over Peter Hickman and Chris Palmer. Did you see anything? No, Chris. Did you see anything in the pit stops?
No, mate. I was just really interested to see what they were changing. I had a look at Michael Dunlop there, and when he came in, I thought if he's got a problem, maybe they're going to adjust something, but I couldn't really see from back here, Chris. I'm sorry.
But a good pit stop by the Connor Cummins team as usual. But it was Hickman, Harrison, Cummins, Hillier, Rutter, Dunlop, Johnson, Hutchinson, your top 9. Gary Johnson away as David Johnson gets away. There's too many Johnsons, Tim.
Yeah, it was Hutchinson was the quickest there at 54.792. In fact, Rutter's quicker at 52.962 seconds. And then Dunlop 56.9. Harrison quickest though of the leaders, 57.5. Back down to Chris.
Yeah, Sam West showing in a good spot at the moment. Sam in round about 10th position, and number 15 also in here at the moment. Then of course Jamie Coward, as he came through Cronknamona, held on to 7th as he came across the line here, holding on to about 8th position. So Hickman led away from the pits, 1.782 into the pit, should I say. And what a good performance here by Sam West on the Superstock bike. We got Phil Crow in here now. Phil Crow, 12th position for him. Number 14th machine. He's about 11 seconds back off Ian Hutchinson as they went across the line here. The klaxon going once more. We got 15, we got 13, we got 14 in the pits at the moment. Who's the next bike in? It is.
I can tell you, Chris.
Go ahead.
We reckon it's 0.6 the lead that Hickman enjoys over Harrison. Lost about a second in the pits. 0.6.
Number 18, Davey Todd. He's in 10th position as he come here now. Let's get the R1 fired up. The Prez Racing Superbike. Jamie Cow just losing a bit of time, and Derek Shields nearly runs off one of the pit crew. You've got to be so on the ball in this little pit job here. 19 is in now. Now that looks a bit slow for Daly Matheson coming in, but it's nice and relaxed for the team. Got the World Endurance spec frame on that with all the setup that they had. He's telling me that there at the Northwest 200, so the two Penns bikes in 18 and 19 together. And we've got Phil Crowe still in number 14, 22, that's Brian McCormack and Gadussi coming in. Where's Brian at the moment? That's a good show for Brian. 11th position for Brian McCormack as he came into the pit stop as Phil Crowe leaves, and Lee Johnson, number 11, a retirement. Dave Christian.
Yes, thanks, Chris. Just waiting the arrival of the first bike on the road. We hear engine noise up the valley. The trees give a little bit of a Mexican wave as a gust of wind comes up. Two together. It's Dean Harrison, leader on the road, with Connor Cummins just tucked in behind him. Both safely through here on their third lap. And we now have to wait the arrival of Peter Hickman, but it looks like that gap is around about 10.5 seconds between Harrison and Cummins. So just that half a second Connor has between them for the starting gap. But Dean Harrison so much quicker and smoother, and well, 10 seconds, it's not that much, but he's obviously not leaked it anywhere in the pits. All the pit crews must have been full on there to make sure there was no time lost, but it is Peter Hickman's time that we'll need. James Hillier as well won't be too far away. But those two guys, lovely amount of clear track in front of them. They shouldn't, in the four-lapper, catch up with any back markers either, so it should be just a full-on race to the flag. But Dean Harrison, the leader on the road, Cummins just tucked in behind him, getting that little toe along. That means he pulls away from fourth place. James Hillier keeps in touch with that group, and there's any slight error, Cummins was just there waiting to pounce. The next man on the road can't be too far away now. We should be James Hillier, we think, and he won't be too far in front of Peter Hickman. And the bike does flash out of Glen Helen 2. Glen Helen 1, sorry. It's Peter Hickman. That's Hickman third on the road. So Peter Hickman, and on corrected time, leads the race, but it's by just over half a second from Dean Harrison. There is absolutely nothing in this race. Glen Helen lap 3, and just half a second between first and second place, with Connor Cummins number 1 in third, just 10 seconds behind. Next man in is Michael Dunlop, so James Hillier looks like has encountered some difficulties along the way somewhere. There's Hillier now. Bike sounds healthy enough as the unmistakable sound of Michael Rutter comes through here as well. So Hillier with some time drop there. Maybe it's a mechanical problem, but he's fallen away. Fourth place he was. He's now down to 6th. As Ian Hutchinson comes through, he gets on the power, sure enough, makes that climb up towards Sarah's Cottage. But Glen Helen on lap 3, there is absolutely nothing between Peter Hickman and Dean Harrison. Half a second is all that separates number 10 and number 2. Davo Johnson through now, and Kaz Johnson. So 2 out of the 3 Johnsons through, and they're not just inside. Well, Davo up to 6th place, Glen Helen at the moment. And that doesn't look like it'll change either. So a great ride from Davo Johnson, number 9, just outside the top 5. But Hickman and Harrison, that battle is going to go on. We're going to have a flick over to Bluff Bridge and make sure we catch the announcement there. And we have dilled Peter Hickman and Dean Harrison with absolutely nothing in it. And we think we'll now probably go back to Tim at the grandstand.
Yeah, we're just awaiting confirmation, but we can tell you at Bluff Bridge, Dean Harrison is there, and 10.5 ahead of Connor Cummins, 10.5, but we do have a red flag, and I can tell you there's been an incident at Snugborough, so we do have a red flag situation here at the RST Superbike TT. An incident at Snugborough is what we're being told by race controls. So all bikes will be stopped out on the course. I can see the travelling marshal is just putting his gloves on and is now heading out of pit lane, has a little look over his right-hand shoulder just to check if anybody was coming into the pits, but the pit lane see the red flag displayed. So disappointment, but obviously thoughts with whoever's involved in an incident at Snugborough is what we're being told is the reason for the red flag. Now, this might mean that this is irrelevant, but we were due to go with the sidecars at 1:15. That had been put back with the quarter of an hour delayed start to this. And crossing points due to open 2:15, 2:45. But all, of course, this might change due to the situation that we are currently in. We've referred to the perfect lap and the sector times, and nearly all of them went in the senior TT last year, with Dean Harrison quickest from the grandstand to Glen Helen in that race last year on lap 6, the one that he Hickman broke the outright lap record on. 4 minutes 6.355 seconds is the quickest out there to Glen Helen. Glen Helen to Belaf, Dean Harrison again, but this one was in the Superbike race of last year. Just over 3 minutes, 3 minutes 0.620 seconds. The section then to Ramsey, so Belaf Bridge to Ramsey. Again, now it's Peter Hickman territory. He owns that with 3 minutes 10.103 seconds. Then Ramsey to the bungalow, Peter Hickman, 3 minutes 9.746 seconds. And we then have bungalow down to Cronknamona, 2 minutes 12.493 seconds. And Cronknamona to the grandstand, that is Peter Hickman again. So he's all the way from Belaf Bridge to the grandstand with the fastest sectors, 56.394. We'll take a break.